What's happening, everybody? Off the Mike Sports Network. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. Sorry I didn't get to this because Saturday was just insane. Um, we had this Crown Jewel show at 5 o'clock in the morning here out on the West Coast, and going right into college football, and just a lot of things going on. Baseball, we're now in NFL, and so I didn't get a chance to do a review. I didn't even do a prediction show for this, just because a lot of things have been just feeding in together. It's just been a hectic time. But I got to tell you guys, this was one of the better WWE shows of the year. Um, this was a really good crowd in Perth. For a show that and a concept that I really didn't care for. I was not into the whole idea of champion versus champion, crown jewel champion. It just feels like a really meaningless thing. But given what they built up to, specifically on the men's side with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, which was a great match. Seth cheats to win. He gets his win over Cody Rhodes. And, hey, no harm, no foul. Cody loses. Who cares? Like, Cody's still a made man, but, really a good story that they told surrounding the vision. And then, how that fed into, like, Seth's, building up to be, like, I guess in some ways kind of this final boss, really, even though there's a final boss who doesn't want to show up anymore, but we won't talk about that. Um, but yeah, this was a good show, given it was like, kind of like, a 3 week build, really some nothing, but the match work, was great. A lot of star power on this show. And a really good crowd out there in Perth, man. Like I said, even if it was 5 o'clock in the morning, like, these people were energized, they were juiced. And not to mention, we had a great match between two of the greatest of all time. I'll kind of give you my cliff notes here. I might do a side thing here on John Cena and AJ Styles and just John Cena as a whole. But um, so show started with Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed gets the win. He's one of the only guys. You guys realize this? Roman Reigns, really, since he became the tribal chief, has not been pinned in a one-on-one match unless it was Cody Rhodes. He's been pinned in, like, tag team matches, and he was pinned in the triple threat, obviously, at WrestleMania by Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns does not lose one-on-one matches. He does not lose them. And yes, there was obviously a miscommunication with Jey Uso and the Usos getting involved in it was a street fight, so, a bunch of standard stuff. Some people were mad about some of the overabundance of interference, but come on, that's why they gave the stipulation. Bronson Reed is a fucking made man, everybody. And whether you like him or you don't, they clearly see something in this guy to put him in so many high-profile situations. 2 premium live event matches in the last 3 months with Roman Reigns, and he stood tall in both of them. Like, he didn't win the one in Paris, but he won the one here. And he gets to do something that hasn't been done in a one-on-one situation without somebody named Cody Rhodes since Baron Corbin did it back in 2019. Go look it up. That was pre-Tribal Chief. As the Tribal Chief, he's the only person not named Cody Rhodes to pin him in a one-on-one situation. Like, I'm leaving that match at WrestleMania because that was a triple threat. The fact he took a pin there tells you everything you need to know too. But this was unbelievable. Like the match itself was fine, but the result, I thought they should have done this. I didn't think they were going to have the stones to do it, and they did it. And this is the right thing to do. People are going to be like, oh, lame. Why is Roman losing? For all of you people who are bloodline truthers and whatnot, need to fucking understand is Roman Reigns has limited appearances. What you have to do is maximize and use his equity to make newer stars. And that's what they're doing here. That's what they're doing here with Bronson Reed. Because clearly, they want to make him the next monster level guy in this company. And good for him. The guy's beaten Okada, for God's sake. And now he's beaten Roman Reigns. Statement win for Bronson Reed. Women's Crown Jewel Championship Crown Jewel Championship match. This was really nothing. I like Stephanie and I like Tiffany. But there was no story here. It was a really quick match. It sort of just went through some good spots. It was good energy. But Stephanie wins. Stephanie needed to win. Anybody really complaining about this is like, listen, this is one of the reasons why I don't like this concept, because there was just no story here. And there was no reason to really get invested other than the fact that, hey, it's Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquera, two of the best women you got there. And they're strapping a rocket to Stephanie Vaquera. That's the biggest indication that you need to know is, like, she's won. Think about what she's done in the last calendar year. Like, not even the last year. Like, she showed up on the NXT roster in like September, October of last year. She's won the North American Championship. She's won the NXT Women's Championship. She's participated in Money in the Bank. She's won the Women's World Championship, and now she's the Crown Jewel champion, which, like I said, we can dismiss all we want. But she did something that nobody else has done this year, and that's pin Tiffany Stratton. That's got to mean something. Whether you like Tiffany or not, they've built her up as something. So the fact that Stephanie's the first one to beat her, that's got to mean something. So there you go there. John Cena and AJ Styles was far and away the best match on this show. And that's not to say that anything else on this show was inherently bad. It's just John Cena and AJ Styles was a special moment in time in professional wrestling. Like, when we think back on this retirement tour, we are going to look back on this match with AJ Styles and think to ourselves, God. We'll think back as that was one of the great wrestling matches and it didn't even really have like that great high level of work rate, but it was everything that you love about professional wrestling. It was fun. It was loose. These guys paid tribute to some of their best rivals. Like, we had a bunch of Undertaker stuff. We had AJ Styles paying tribute to a bunch of TNA guys. Chris Jericho got a shout out in this match. Bray Wyatt got a shout out in this match. Like, this was so fucking fun. I was having a fucking blast watching this match. And clearly the people in Perth were having a blast as well. This was so freaking well done. And the shame in all of this is, like, this was not supposed to happen. The fans made this happen. And the best thing that could have ever happened is John Cena is a babyface. He should have never been a heel. Like, him being a heel was a fun idea in theory, but it never led to anything. So what the fuck were we doing in the first place? We could have been having 12 months of this shit. And then you could see John Cena and AJ Styles clearly love each other genuinely, and they have an immense amount of... John Cena's note that he had Alicia Taylor read before the match, because, he does his signature, the never seen. He did it for AJ Styles, and it was... AJ Styles was genuinely taken aback by the Bullet Club reference. Everything about the 30 minutes that they did in this ring, and I don't even think, much like the Royal Rumble match from, 8 years ago back in San Antonio, I don't think they left the ring for this one either. Mind you, both these guys are almost 50. They put on a show, man. This was awesome. This was... Like, when we look back on this retirement tour, we're probably going to be pointing to this match and saying, that was the moment where this was fucking awesome. Because we also recognize that earlier in the week, AJ Styles made it a point, specifically at the kickoff show, that he's done next year. So, yeah, this was fucking amazing. It was great. Women's tag, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley beat the Kabuki Warriors. I do like the whole thing. Asuka's been great in this whole thing. Story itself, some overacting from Io, but, Rhea, it's been nice to give her something else to do. She got the great reception at home. Kairi Sane has really been an unsung hero in this whole thing, with her conflicted demeanor of trying to, align with Asuka's evil intentions. So, Rio, not to be confused with Riho, wins this match. Really a standard women's tag. Like, it was fun. And the crowd really made it very interesting too. Nice little addition to the card. And then Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins was a great match, great story. Seth uses the watch that he got as a gift from Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania to basically, hit a couple stomps after that, after the ref had a ref bump, and Seth Rollins wins the Crown Jewel Championship. No interference, nothing. Some people were expecting, maybe Brock Lesnar, somebody else to join the Vision. No, this was just Cody and Seth beating the crap out of each other. Seth, proving that he's still one of the best, and finally gets it done through some nefarious means, which was the right way to go. You couldn't have this be a definitive thing. Seth had to resort to, you know, some dastardly tactics to win this match. So, yeah, this was a great show, man. I mean, still kind of trying to get used to the whole ESPN dynamic. I think I'd like for them to have more than 5 matches on the show and, make this, but at the same time, this was so much better than WrestlePalooza. So much better than WrestlePalooza. If WrestlePalooza felt like an appetizer at like kind of a cheap restaurant, even if like, and it was really trying to appease the casual people. This was for wrestling fans and people who actually watched the product. Now, if you liked what you saw at WrestlePalooza and you started watching the product here, now you should be more hooked, because this, like the last couple of weeks, specifically leading into Crown Jewel, felt more like a Triple H run WWE. It still hasn't been great, but some of the stories have connected, some of the ways that they've booked, and a lot of people are justifiably, getting what they deserve. And like I said, this wasn't by any means like the greatest show I've ever seen, but given the expectation level, and like I said, I didn't like the concept, I think Crown Jewel was one of the better shows that they've done in 2025 for WWE. So anyway, thanks so much everybody for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.